Good morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. I feel like the sound went a little bit skew-iffy then. Let me know if you're watching along. What does the sound look like? Well, what does the sound like? I felt a bit like crackly. It felt like it was topping out a little bit. But good morning. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. I hope you're feeling good this morning. I'm going to adjust that and adjust this. Let's see if that makes it any better. But good morning. Welcome to the show, Rise Up Show. This Monday morning. Now then, this Monday morning being the 16th of January, Monday the 16th of January, is Blue Monday. Now then, Blue Monday is the day that is calculated to be the most depressing day of the year. The most depressing day of the year. And I kind of want to jump on in here and tell you that I'm not having it. I'm not having it because, before we go on, let me know in the comments if you've heard of the concept of Blue Monday and if you know where it's come from. Where has the concept of Blue Monday come from? What I want to do is I want to just get a little bit of a gauge of if you know the truth behind today, because what happens is it's just like Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th was originally made up by the patriarchy to like, what's the word? To make women scared. That was like the Friday the 13th thing. It was to make women scared. And it was a day that they used to do lots of like sort of witchy murder trials and all of that sort of stuff. Now, Blue Monday was created by Sky Travel to sell more holidays. But what has happened is that it has infiltrated our world, infiltrated our conversations, whereas Blue Monday has actually become a thing. Like, yeah, I get it. I can feel how this would be Blue Monday. You know, it's the furthest Monday away from payday after Christmas. The nights are dark, even though we've got past the 21st of December, even though the nights actually officially are starting to get shorter and shorter and shorter from the 21st of December, and it doesn't feel like that's the case. It feels like a million years away, but actually it is a fallacy. Blue Monday is a fallacy. However, that is not to say that feeling a little bit rough at this time of year, particularly if you are affected by things like seasonal affective disorder, if the nights and the days or the length of them play on you a little bit, now is a pretty decent time to be talking. Well, any time is a decent time to be talking about mental health, but now is a very decent time to be talking about mental health, because I don't know about you, we were talking about this a lot in the run-up to the Christmas break. Hang on one second. Things have gone wrong this morning. We had a uniform issue, which meant none of the uniforms were dry, which means my children are still at home and not at school, although Wallace is on that. Are you okay?
No.
I'm live and you sat there ready. Ivy's having a Blue Monday. What are you saying?
You tell Daddy to stop a test.
You can tell Daddy. Go on, you have to jump off because I'm live, mate. I can't have a conversation with you. Is he not? Just go and hit him. Just give him a bosh. I don't actually condone violence, and she knows I don't mean it. Are you okay? So yeah, things have been a little bit of a juggle this morning. But I actually get it. I get that this time of year is a difficult time for a lot of people. It is important that we have conversations about how we're feeling, right? Whatever time of year it is, Blue Monday, Pink Tuesday, What's It Wednesday, whatever it is. And this morning, I want to have a little bit of a conversation. I want to share with you something that I'm involved with that is going off on the 3rd 2nd or 3rd? Stephen's in the back. So is it the 2nd of February, the 3rd of February? He's jumping in to come and talk to us about it anyway. It's all good. So in the green room right now, which I'm really sorry, Steve, we have not furnished with any goods or snacks today. I'm really sorry because we're virtual. We have got the fabulous Stephen Robinson from It's Mental joining us this morning to talk to us about an event that I'm involved in and how you can get involved. So Stephen, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm great. On this Blue Monday, as we say.
Say that again.
I said I'm fantastic, as we say on this Blue Monday.
It's Blue Monday. And it's another one of those examples where big commercial enterprises capitalize on the way that we're feeling in order to sell stuff that isn't really directly related to the thing that they're selling it against, right? So Blue Monday is a fallacy created by Sky Travel to sell right now is prime selling spot for summer holidays. And this Monday is that day. But what I'm really glad of and really grateful of is the fact that you and I get to have a conversation this morning where people may be feeling it a little bit. So Stephen Robinson, welcome to the show, Wise Up, Rise Up show. We have not known each other for very long, and this is the first time we've had a face-to-face conversation. So we've spoke to each other a couple of times on the phone, but the first time we've had a face-to-face conversation. But for the purpose of our conversation today, tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about It's Mental.
Right. Okay. Well, It's Mental. It's Mental started in 2019. So my story and the reason I got into it is mainly 2 suicides in my family. Brother-in-law 2016, brother 2018. I had a breakdown back in 2018 as well, which just makes you realise and just wakes up to life really and saying, what are we doing? And I had the counselling, which was brilliant, but I just felt after that, then 8 to 10 weeks, what I had, everybody were dropping into a void, not just me, but everybody else. And it was like, you're not left with any tools to manage your mental well-being ongoing. And I just thought everybody seems to be in a washing machine where every time life chucks some adversity at you, you either go to your GP or you go into counselling again, and no one's really moving on. So that's why we created it. I won't go into the depths, but we created a self-care platform. I've got 30 years experience in technology. So I thought, can we engage people using technology early on in the process? So we do chat bots. We'll learn, people can text and it helps them be signposted faster. We do a lot of tech on like coaching really. So one-to-ones and therapy and stuff like that. Nothing new, but what we do, it's all positive psychology. So we base ourselves on a model called PERMA, which is an American model. And it's really trying to just get people to take action. That's the hardest thing to do sometimes when you're in crisis or a severe state. But hopefully when you've had your counselling, you're a better state of mind, then it's ready to move forward. I think that's where we let people down, and coaching is really important. And you only have to look at sports people, top business people, obviously politicians, they all have coaches. And why? Because it's accountability and discipline, and that's what we lack as human beings. So that's what we started, but our mission is to teach 1 million people how to manage their mental well-being. So we have to think big. We have to think big, Dani.
That is not a small feat, right? That is no small feat. And just to kind of, really, I'm nodding in agreement. And I know loads of you that are watching this morning will be nodding in agreement that often we only get access to mental health support at point of crisis. And actually, if we had the tools in the run up to that point of crisis, we needn't have to get to that point of crisis, which is where we lose people, we lose lives, as you have so, tragically experienced, within your immediate circle, within your immediate family. And so many people do, even in the run up to Christmas, you know, there were 3 people who I know incredibly well lost their lives to suicide. And I saw a post yesterday, and I was sort of having a flick through a sort of a doom scroll of Instagram, and there's this phrase, to commit suicide, and like suicide is a crime. Suicide isn't a crime. Suicide is a symptom of not being able to manage how you're feeling, and we are not given those tools early enough. And so then, you know, we're at this position now where we are losing people. And what the work that you do within It's Mental and the platform that you've created, and indeed the event that you've created that we're going to talk about today, is absolutely crucial. And to have this mission of wanting to impact 1 million people is amazing. How's it going so far? Like, what does that look like? What does the journey look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no time limit on it as such, but we've got about 12,000 members, but our socials are quite big. You know, we've got about 40 odd thousand in a social community. But, you know, the main thing was laying the foundations down of what services we could offer.
Yeah.
So it's not about creating an event. I think most people can create an event.
Yeah.
What it's about is after the event.
Yeah.
What support do they get? What do they get from the event? What they're going to do differently? And I think we're not reinventing the wheel with the event. It's Mental Live. What we're doing is promoting prevention again. The message of prevention is better than cure, which is
getting that highlight there, right?
Yeah.
It's getting, you know, creating a momentum wave to a happening so that we can continue having the conversation. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And talking openly how we're feeling. But believe it or not, this slogan of prevention is better than cure is for the NHS. It's for social services. It's for the government. You go on the website, this is plastered on them websites, but they're not implementing it, and there's too many barriers again. So I just thought we'd have to do it ourselves. And it's not about, you know, creating something new. There's so much good stuff out there, you know, from charities, community projects, coaching, loads of coaches, what you do. You know, there's loads of exciting things, but it's people just don't have the awareness. We're all going about in our own little micro, small.
And we're all at small micro economies in silos. And
it's like, well, why do we not just create a big event where we can create that awareness? And, you know, it's a not-for-profit event, but people can be inspired. They can be motivated. They can be supported. And most importantly for me is getting people to take some action after the event and just experiencing things that they'd never done before.
Right.
So like we're playing on the words It's Mental. We want to.
I just think it's genius. So we've met indirectly through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And when she was telling me about it and the fact that it's called It's Mental, I'm like, my God, just the play on words, it's absolutely genius. I think it's fantastic.
No, thank you. Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, we have to play on them words because we've got to make it normal.
Right.
So we were saying like, right, well, everybody's trying to make it normal, take away the stigma. So we do want to talk about it like having a cold at work, don't we? I'm feeling a bit down. Well, go and do this, have a break. It's not this big thing, and we're getting there. Yeah. But I just think, on the event, we're doing stuff like you can drive a car blindfolded, for instance. And people go, well, why are you doing that? Well, to be honest, it's related. It enhances your senses. When you take one sense away, the other four is enhanced. So it's just, and it's understanding about, obviously, how people cope blind, and things, just how lucky we are. And it's also giving that gratitude as well, which helps.
Yeah.
So there's other things that you can do, like, climb a wall. We're looking for volunteers, Dani, for ice baths.
I can totally vouch for how incredible access to the cold is. I did this. Me and my friends, one of my friends, Jojo Smith from Creative Sass, and Ange, known as the Ice Warrior, we went and took ourselves and dunked ourselves in a freezing cold lake. We was practicing Wim Hof breathing techniques and what have you, and it's absolutely amazing. You're looking for volunteers to jump in the ice bath, is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah. I mean, we've got Maura Jackson, which is a good one. We've got a few of the ex-footballers and some of the inspiring people that are in the event. So yeah, it'd be good. I just think, you know, we've got some great guests on the main
Yeah.
stage, and again, it's not keynote speakers. I think there's only you doing a talk actually on the It's Mental Bash. There's no one, because what we're trying to do is not like an expo, not like a conference. We want people who go, do you know what, I've tried loads of things today and learnt a lot. And everybody's trying. The thing is, if you talk to like community projects, you know, they want volunteers, they want people to help raise money for projects, like, you know, do a runner. So it all fits quite nicely. Do you know what I mean? To say, well, if you want to take action, you know, get involved in something, and it's all in your area. It's not like we're saying, well, you know, go to John O'Groats or Land End to get involved. It's like all Bolton and just on the outskirts of Lancashire, probably a touch into Manchester, probably touch into East and West Lancs. But it's fantastic. So excited.
So let's talk about this specifically. So It's Mental is a platform that you can go and get involved with. We're going to make sure that we post the links to all the socials so that those of you that are watching out there, if you're watching on LinkedIn or if you're watching in the Hive, wherever it is that you're watching, you can go and get involved. But what we're talking about when we're speaking in this moment about the event that we're talking about is It's Mental Live. Yes. Which is happening at the beginning of February. It's happening at Bolton Stadium, in the big room. Is that right?
Well, it's the Premier Suite, but it's over 3 floors.
Right.
So
it is huge.
Yeah, 10 different wellbeing zones. Yeah, so you know we're not playing games here. We're going
absolutely for it. Not.
So yeah, I mean, you know, there's so many good things. I get quite emotional when I think about even the club. Like, we're going this afternoon, you know, what you've done for us, what you're doing for us, helping promote it. You know, everybody's coming together. Like Neil Hart, the CEO of the club, I'm there filming him this afternoon. He's launching, you know, the club's bought 500 tickets for fans.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, you know, that is just fantastic to get engagement again with.
I think it's a testament to the necessity of this conversation, Stephen, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like everyone says to me from a standing start, you know, you're probably mad trying to achieve this, you know, from a standing start to try and get 3,000 people into an event. But we're doing well. But a lot of that is, you can't just rely on direct sales. You've got to, you know, mix it up. And like employers, you know, local employers are sending their employees, for instance, you know, for a away day. That's why we've done it on a Friday, really. Because, you know, a lot of companies are struggling to engage with staff with well-being. They're trying things, don't get me wrong, but the staff are probably not engaging. And there's a lot of reasons for that. You know, they don't want to show a weakness or vulnerability. They might not get that promotion. There's loads of things, but giving them, there's nothing better than an employer can give somebody is time.
Right.
What time with direction, which is, that's what we thought is right. Can, you know, them 10% that you might feel are struggling in your workplace, and you just, you know, passively trying to do something with them.
It's almost like a tick box exercise, isn't it? Oh, we've got, you know, an employee assistance resource and here it is. But it's not something that, say somebody goes and engages with that, who then do they talk to about it? Whereas if they have a group experience where they open this conversation up together, actually that can be the beginning of a culture change, because everybody has access to this if they've had this shared experience, right?
Correct, exactly. And I think you've nailed it, because most companies want a positive culture. Who doesn't?
Right.
You know, we've got a guy that is my mentor who's speaking at the event, and I'm quite, you know, grateful and privileged to have him. But he does talks on purpose beyond profit. So he's doing a talk to companies to say, look, we talk profit and we have done for generations, but now I think people are evolving, you know, post-COVID, spiritually, more well-being aware.
And the more we see capitalism for what it is as well, I think is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, capitalism, I think, has shown its backside even more over the last couple of years.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think people are coming to awake to this stuff. So, you know, like the resignation of 750,000 people just after COVID, the people just said, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to do something different. Yeah. And I think that's amazing. I think we're getting there, but businesses have to adapt to that way of thinking. So
100%.
they have to do things new. They have to engage with the staff differently. And I just think, they're trying to do things which is all good that they're doing it. But I think to get engagement, you want to send somebody on their own journey.
Yeah.
You want to go, here's a grant. So we do them as well-being rewards. So they go, we'll grant you a well-being reward. Congratulations. For whatever reason, it's not about performance. It might be just knowing something about their staff or understanding they might be into this or want to take an interest into it. But there's nothing better, I think, if going back to my younger days, I've only probably been employed in my life probably about a year. All my friends say I'm totally unemployable.
I'm completely we laugh about this in this community all the time. A lot of us are entrepreneurs. A lot of us are completely unemployable.
And that's a good thing. That is a good thing. When
Yeah.
somebody told me at first, I thought, oh, that's a negative, but it's
Oh,
not.
what a terrible thing to say. I'm very employable. Thank you very much. On paper, and I'm anybody's type.
Yeah, but I'm quite proud of that. I'm
Yeah.
quite proud of it. And I think more and more people are obviously thinking that way, which is fantastic. So, yeah, I think there's a few missions. We want to engage more men, through. That's why we're doing it with sport as well, because the stats are changing. And men seem to put sports people on pedestals.
Yeah.
Mental health doesn't discriminate. Then people go through the same emotions, feelings as we do.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully if they're people, well, they've done this, they've gone through this, what I'm feeling, and look, they're managing it this way. If they just take one or two things from it, I think we're doing, what we wanted to do and what we want to achieve.
I mean, Stephen, and without sort of, without kind of engaging in too much hyperbole, but the work that you're doing, as you know, it's the reason why you're doing it, is saving lives. It's providing that access and those tools and that support that's needed before things get. And of course, there's the point of crisis support that's available, but in that run up, the more that we know about sort of arming ourselves with this arsenal of tools is going to help more people not get to that point of crisis, and what incredible work it is. So tell us the specifics. How do we get involved? How do we attend It's Mental Live?
Dead simple. Just Google It's Mental Live. Bang, top of the shop. I won't ask you to put a URL in or a website address. Go to the website, have a look at the schedule. I mean, the schedule's always been updated. It's constantly being updated.
The more people people are just wanting to get involved. And
I mean, I think we've got
over
40 or 50 people doing
something,
as in speaking or a special guest on the main stage. I mean, we've got so much. I mean, Nutrition Zone, we've got 3 chefs doing demonstrations. We've got, all different types of new foods, that from microgreens to sheep's milk to all these type of things, which is good. It's all about education. Workplace well-being, financial well-being is important. We've got some great speakers there just on the crisis that we're in. And again, I've always got a voice when it comes to financial and advisors, and then they should be like coaches, not advisors. Where it's about building for your lifestyle, your dreams, your wishes, not about survival. And I think it's,
or digging yourself out of holes, because that's, it's one of those things where finances, particularly, money worries are often a real sticking point for people in the mental health, the amount of anxiety that we hold around money. When we do get into a hole, it's hard.
It's the relationship people have with money, and it's hard. It's changing that. I mean, I used to have a bad relationship with money. I think I've changed a lot, even over the last 5 years, just because we're evolving. And I think a lot of people have. But I think it's about, how do you get motivated, not by money, but money is going to get certain things that you need to achieve what you want to do. Does that make sense?
And we talk about this as a community all the time, Stephen, about the money is just the energetic exchange. We turn up and do the things, the money tends to happen if we've done all the prep work for that energetic exchange in the first instance. And instead of chasing the money, chase the output, chase the
Correct.
service in the first instance, and the money tends to come because you end up providing incredible service. And
Brilliant. Yeah.
it becomes a treasure hunt as opposed to anything else, and it can start to be fun when you heal that relationship with money. But so many of us, I mean, particularly, I don't know if I'm biased just because I live here. I'm from Preston. I grew up on the council estates, but money was a dirty subject. It was a dirty word. If you had too much of it, if you didn't have enough of it, one way or another, if you had too much, you were a flash bastard. If you didn't have enough, it caused great worry. I just think, money, finances, and mental health often they go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. No, you bang on there. I think, and that's where we have to change that mindset about that, don't we, for a lot of people, and that we can't do it on our own. We need people in the financial institutions to help us do that. And have them conversations.
And the earlier we have those conversations, the better. And again, this gives us, It's Mental Live and us having this conversation. And hopefully for those of you that are watching out there, go and Google It's Mental Live. Go and get yourself a ticket. Come and see us there. Come and bring your staff. If you've got a team, come and use it as a team away day to start having these conversations. Because I think that, the more that we open up the discussion, the easier it is to prevent those crises, to prevent that, why do we have to wait until we get into the pits of despair before we start to look after ourselves? And for us as a community, that was something that I was tripping in at the finish line of the Christmas break, hurting, feeling burnt out, feeling like I didn't want to work at myself because I didn't want to look at myself anymore. I was so, tied up with work and everything that was going on that I weren't looking at myself. And the more that we give ourselves opportunities to engage with things like It's Mental Live, with the platform, with the conversation, the easier it is to not fall into those holes. So as a personal plea from me, if you are watching along and this is something that you want to be engaging with, as entrepreneurs, I think it's even more important because we don't have those employee assistance resources readily available to us. We have to go and find them ourselves. This is a perfect opportunity for those of you that don't have that to go and engage with it. Would you say that's the case, Stephen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is, being in business is a lonely place. I've always been employed, like I said before. So, it's different from being a director of a corporate. It's different pressures, different way you've got to deal with things. And I think, we're trying to tackle some of the conversations at the event. We're trying to have, more peer-to-peer support for businesses to be involved going forward. That you can have a support network, but also, the pressure is so intense at somewhere, especially if you employ people, because it's them people's lifestyles that you're dealing with, isn't it? Just one decision, etc. So showing your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses is very hard in front of them, even more so. So there's all these dynamics go on between a company, I think. And, the thing is trying to get that right. A lot of we talk about is being a compassionate leader, especially in the boardroom, where showing, if you're trying to bond teams together and boards, you've got to show vulnerabilities to other
because you're human. It's reminding the room that we all have lives. We're all living human beings, and we're all having an experience, a lived experience together, and sort of peeling back the layers a bit and showing yourself a little bit is sometimes necessary. If we put this veneer up of this untouchable CEO, this person that's steering the ship and is surrounded by this kind of force field, we're not.
No, and I think that's a big. Starting from the top somewhere, it does help, doesn't it, to push it down. I think what we get is if the board or the business owners, the C-suite are not bought into change, then it's very hard to get things like this established in an organisation. I think it's like that oxygen mask approach, isn't it? Especially small business owners. We always jump to the employees first. Which obviously make us function, make the business run, sort of thing. But we're the keeping, we've got to do that oxygen and get ourselves there as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not just for employees, it's for the employers.
Yeah.
And I think then that's where the culture and the ideas and the proactiveness. I mean, I get so frustrated about this subject because I go into that many companies and you've probably done it, and they go, yes, we've got this, yes, we tick that. We've got insurance, we've got health insurance, we're covered on that. Then we've got employee assisted programs, yes, we're covered on that.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, it's all reactive. Yes, we've got mental health first aiders, yes, touched on that. It's all reactive.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good that they have them things and they've got them benefits, but we know the engagement's like 1 or 2, 3%, 4% at best. And it's too late. It's going back to what we talked about. They're only kicking in when we're in crisis. So they've got to be proactive. They've got to do something, and how they communicate that to the employees. And it's not just a lot of passive about it. Like, yes, we've got things set up, send it in a newsletter, we're done. But it's not. It's got to be a cultural thing. It's got to be there every day.
It's got to be woven into the fabric, isn't it, of performance, of how you're checking in with your employees, how how you're acting as a board. And one of the ways for those of you watching to weave that in is to go and learn about it, to attend events like It's Mental Life, to engage with people like Stephen, to engage with the platform, understand how it can benefit you, your business, and indeed your life. Like for anybody that's just kind of watching along from a personal development perspective, it's an incredible thing to be engaging with. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Short Wise at Rise Up show. I cannot wait for the event. I cannot wait for It's Mental Live. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We will pop the links up across our socials. And I implore you, if you're watching along right now, if you're in the Northwest, so you can make the trek up to Bolton, come and join us at It's Mental Live. Thanks for joining us this morning, Stephen.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Thank you, everyone.
So that was Stephen Robinson from It's Mental. Please do go and check out the event. I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be performing. There are some fantastic speakers, workshops, and things that you can be getting involved with as part of It's Mental Live. Give it a little Google before we put the links up. Go and grab yourselves a ticket. Tickets aren't expensive. But it's just going to be an absolutely fantastic day where you can get involved. So let's banish those Blue Monday blues and think about what we can be doing to prevent our points of crisis when mental health is concerned. If you think that you've got something to contribute to It's Mental Life, please do reach out to Stephen. I'm sure he will be more than happy to hear from you. But in the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic week. We will be in the Hive chatting about all sorts this week, but I'll be back on Wednesday for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. I'll see you later.